I do not believe, and I've been at this for a long time, and Assistant Secretary, Department of Housing and Urban Development, doing Economic Development, U.S. Commerce Department in Washington, D.C. I do not believe in putting people in home ownership when they do not have a job to continue to make that mortgage payment, because you're setting them up for failure because they'll be foreclosed. Neither do I believe in giving someone a Section 8 voucher or to give them a federal subsidy to make a rent payment when, again, they do not have a job to continue making those rent payments. And so a lot of what we're going to be doing at RHA is focusing on that job component around economic development. That's why you heard there in the video, we launched what's called the Richmond Development Corporation. It is the entity, the vehicle through which we will be doing a lot of our private sector activity. For instance, we will go out with a housing revenue bond at the appropriate time, maybe the third quarter of this year. And we may, as soon as we go out with a TIF, a tax increment financing revenue bond. I just brought on a new chief financial officer who has great relationships with the rating agencies on Wall Street. And we will also be looking to, I call impact funding. We're also going to be looking to bring in national and Wall Street investors that allow us to do some new innovative things. Last, we're going to start a new home ownership initiative within the RDC. And we're going to combine and partner with Mayor Stoney, and Mayor, you may have seen, and he made the announcement, State of the City address, to create 2,000 new homeowners for low-income housing residents. And we're going to be partnering with the mayor and our new home ownership program for low-income housing residents. How will we do that? Well, one of the things is that, if you all know the NC Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac out of Washington, D.C., they're looking at a particular program. What is that? That is, when you look at the underwriting process, and we're going to apply this for public housing residents, those that are ready, that those who've made their rent payments month after month, year after year, that should qualify as part of the underwriting process. And we're going to be looking at probably a rent-to-own piece of it, and maybe a small down payment. But I'm excited to be partnering with Mayor Stoney in that effort. And then last, I'll just say, again, about this issue of being new and executing and doing things, okay? And that is, I lost my train of thought, but I'm gonna come back in 1 second. And that is, I had a birthday recently, so I gotta remember this stuff. But execution is important. And so we look forward to working with the mayor on executing not only his agendas, but we recognize that his agenda is our agenda, and it's an agenda for the city and the region. And so with that, I'll take any questions that you may have, and my thought may come back to while I'm taking questions. Private investors, that's number one. Number two, issuing a housing bond revenue and be able to do something that the RA can do. So currently around the country and in the city of Richmond for many years, you tackle the issue of affordable housing, and I think some of you know that in the city of Richmond, the Richmond Housing Authority has the oldest housing stock in the entire country, definitely along the eastern seaboard, right? And it's made out of cinder block. No one should be living in cinder block. I represent housing authorities all across the country. It should not be there. And so what I think our goal should be, is to be demolishing those and making sure folks are living in different places. So when you move out for bond financing, that allows you to do transformational demolition and building. Currently, it's through what's called the HUD, RAD, Low-Income Housing Tax Credit. Well, that's 100 units here, 200 here. You know, my grandson will be here trying to figure out how do you demolish and create a better housing. And so with bond financing, going out with that, you're able to bring in private sector capital and move with much alacrity and speed that you just can't do with traditional financing schemes.
But they don't have a car, they can't get there. And so their idea, which is, and I did this, we'll need your cars now. And so we gave one of our cars to them, and then we deducted from your taxes. And so that's it. But you had still transportation to work with.
Sure. That is an issue. In fact, I think it was one day last year, the mayor and I were in an announcement where we were we were providing free, I think it was bicycle transportation, Mr. Mayor, remember that?
But also you have the sort of van service as well,
Yes.
that, a local, minority-owned business, is running for you. Growth, and, you know, I'm a huge proponent of density. I believe, we need more, just about everything, an abundance of everything. We need more homes, we need more infrastructure. Tell me about density and how density plays into, your plans moving forward in redeveloping the big cities.
Thank you. So, just reading an article this morning about how there's an affordability crisis not only for the city, but in the region. And what we're gonna do, this is like when a business, from an economic development, when a business moves into, want to move into a city or a region, the local government tends to give them tax incentives, right? But you in my experience in economic development, you need to be asking those businesses to say, okay, if you're gonna come in and your job's gonna be at X salary, well, if they're gonna be X salary, what can those workers afford, right? There's a business that's coming to one of our counties I won't name. They're coming in, and the real question is, what for those workers at the salary they're going to get? Can they, afford a home that's affordable? So one of the things that we're going to do is, from a development point of view, is we're going to make sure in our RFPs and RFQs that when developers say we're going to develop, we're going to say, fine, what are you setting aside in your development for affordability of affordable homes and for the very, very low. So we're going to make that demand of developers, because if you're coming as a developer and you're making millions of dollars, what are you giving back? And you have to ensure that they're going to set aside a certain amount for affordable homes within that development. And I think that's a demand that we're going to make to ensure that. And so we're going to go high. We're going to, in terms of density, we're going to go, vertical. But we're also going to make sure that we don't do something, is what I tend to call, we're not going to try to reconcentrate poverty back in the same area, but we're going to have to go vertical.